Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially you nephew, welcome back to another Riftbound video. And for today, we have for you the tournament gameplay reactions. And we're gonna jump straight into it, but and we're not gonna jump straight into it because we're gonna go over this the meta talk one more time for y'all who have not seen the last video, who just want to go straight into watch some gameplay instead of hearing me yap about the events. If you did watch though, I appreciate you hearing me yap about the events. But yeah, we're going over this really quickly. As you can see, there is a strong meta forming with Master Yi and Kaisa. They are the two decks that are more than half of the representation right now out of the 16 leaders, or legends, I'm sorry. Gotta stop saying leaders, gotta stop saying leaders. With Set being the closest behind at 13%, and Victor actually at 11%. Also fairly strong. Set being a strong deck that I showed in a video before, which I'm surprised isn't higher on this list, with Kaisa being so high on this list. But I guess we'll see in the gameplay, which I'm showing this again just to forewarn you guys. You guys are going to see 3 games of Master Yi today. Fortunately, I'm not playing, so we can take a step back and, be a observant third party. You don't got to be on my side. But when I'm playing against my brother-in-law, you do have to be on my side, especially you nephew. But for now, we can just, take a step back and look at the gameplay as it is. Look at how people are playing it in the most competitive setting, and learn some lessons from there. So with that being said, let's jump into it from there. I'm going to push this back down. So yeah, Master Yi. So this is from the China tournament. So the cards will be in Chinese, but I will do my best to translate. I'm pretty sure I know what all the cards do. If I do not, I will take a break and Google them. But for now, this is Master. Actually, let me just restart it. Let me actually before I forget, give my credits. So this gameplay is coming from Channel 2 on Riftbound, or Channel 2 Riftbound. They have this video. I wasn't able to find the original live stream of the Chinese gameplay, so I am using these channels to do my commentary over. But I do have them muted. If you want to go support them, they do have a lot of gameplay videos. They will have probably more than me, because I will do this from time to time, but not too often. I'm much more rather a make my own deck and play channel than a reaction channel. But this stuff is important, so I did want to go over it. From let me do them all right now. So Channel 2 is this channel that I'm watching over. For the next video that we're going to go over, it's going to be Josh Schneider, who also does English commentary for tournament play, and this is also one of the Chinese decks, which will be a Ari versus a Lee Sin, or Master Yi, not Lee Sin, which I will go over later. And then finally we have Riftbound, which has posted his own gameplay of a online tournament that he played with Darius, and went 8-0. So I'm really excited to see what he does here. But with that being said, let's jump straight into the games. With all my disclaimers out. So these battlefields will be Zon Warrens and Obelisk of Power, with Zon Warrens being chosen by the Kaisa and Obelisk of Power being chosen by the Master Yi. And okay, one last disclaimer. This is going to be a very long video. I will be pausing a lot because I do want to learn from this and help you guys learn from it, learn from what I see. So even before the game starts, already some important things going on here. The Kaisa chose Zon Warrens. Zon Warrens is, when you conquer here, you may discard 1 and draw 1, which I think is very important in decks like this, where you need to find your removal spells. If you don't know what Kaisa does, have not seen the videos that I've done before with my brother-in-law playing Kaisa, her ability is reaction. You can tap her her legend card and add a free rune recycle, but it can only be activated for spells. So in a deck like this, you have to find the spells. So it's similar to the Annie deck, which is also a low cost spell removal deck, or spell damaging deck, I should say. But instead of her standing up 2 runes, Annie, who stands up 2 runes at the end of turn, Kaisa sort of has a free rune recycle once per turn, or with her leader effect in this deck list. But what she has over the Annie is, which is much more important, is she is red-blue. Annie is red-purple. So she has all the damage spells from red, but being in blue, she has more draw effects that she can gain, rather than purple. Purple has more trashing effects, discarding effects, or movement effects. But having more draw effects, you just get a much more consistent hand as a Kaisa, drawing your removal spells than an Annie. And I assume that's why she's so high in the meta currently. And the Master Yi has chose Obelisk of Power, and that is at the start of your first beginning phase. You gain an extra rune. Now, this is actually pretty crazy. I'm gonna let it play for a second here. He draws, and his opponent reminds him that he should have an extra rune here, but because, and this is very important if you are playing tournaments, the judges are right there. Because the steps are it's ABC, ABCD, ABCD. So it's awaken, beginning, channel, and then draw. So because he channeled 2 and drew already, the judges ruled that he passed his channeling step, so he did not get the Obelisk of Power simply because he forgot. So just make sure you're doing your steps correctly, because it looks like the judges takes it very serious. Maybe this is because this is actually don't know what place this is. Number 16. I'm assuming that means top 16. Yeah, maybe just because this is a top game that they're taking it a bit more serious, but you know, it's good to just have it in your mind, because that really sucks for him, because that's literally just a free rune for both players. But because he forgot about it, they don't allow it. So instead he just plays with 2, and yeah, you can see him shaking his head. I will be very frustrated as well, because I'm like, it's a new game, man. You gotta let me have that. But they don't. So he just plays the Ravenbloom student out for 2, losing on the extra rune to play, and the Master Yi plays out the Starboard Pearl for 2 as well, leaving 2 up. Kaisa player moves Ravenbloom student to Zon Warrens, activating a showdown, and the Master Yi does not have any reactions for it. So okay, this is important. This is a high level play here. It looks stupid, but it's a high level play. Trust me. So move Ravenbloom student to Zon Warrens, which allows him, which starts a showdown, and then in that showdown you can play actions or reaction cards in that showdown. So he decides to play Stupefy. Wait, no, because he conquered already. He just played that raw, I guess. Okay, no, I'm reading this wrong. Give me a second. I'll be there. I'll be there. Okay, yeah. So he does the Zon Warren effects, trash one to draw one. He trashed a Hextech array, which it's interesting because I would assume Kaiser really needs that. But looking at his hand, I see a falling star. I believe that's what that card is, and that deals damage, or 2 instances of 3 damage. And Hextech Ray deals 1 instance of 3 damage, I believe. So I'm assuming he just decides he doesn't need that anymore. And this play looks strange. So this is Stupefy. It's a reaction card. Give a enemy unit -1 might for the end of turn, but the second sentence is draw a card. So more than likely he is using this. Good. So he's simply using that to, one, draw a card and getting a card played this turn, and then getting the Legion effect of Noxus Hopeful, which reduces their cost to play by 2. So really high value play there. It's just, it feels awkward because of how because the Stalwart Pearl really wasn't doing anything. There was no point of him using Stupefy in that turn. But he drew a card for it. So he does have okay, so he had another Hextech array in hand. I don't know what all that effect was. So this is the strength in Kaisa. So he had 1 rune up, so that's this cost here. He tapped that for 1, and then tapped the Kaisa effect for the rune recycle. Like I was saying, that's this other cost here. So the Stalwart Pearl moved up to attack. He did get buffed, so he was 3 into 2. He moved up to attack. So it's, yeah, so it was 3 into 2, but he reacted, or not reacted, but used this action card, which you can play in showdowns, which start during his attack, to deal 3 damage to a unit at a battlefield, killing this Stalwart Pearl unless this Master Yi has something to react with it as well. And it looks like he does. He has a Defy, which says counter a spell that costs no more than 4. That costs no more than 4, and no more than 1 energy recycle, or rune recycle. So he defies that, but it is still currently 3-3 because Ravenbloom student says when, oh wait, no, it is not 3-3. No, it is not 3-3. That's strange. That's strange. I guess counter means it fizzles. I guess this is probably a word choice or word ruling thing. Counter a spell that costs no more than 4. Yeah. So I'm assuming counter means it fizzles. Oh no. I mean, yes, technically. So it's a reaction card, so it's played anytime, even before spells and abilities resolve. So this Hextech array goes into play. And technically that buffs this Ravenbloom student for this turn by 1. I shouldn't say buff, but adds 1 might to this Ravenbloom student. But Defy will resolve before this Hex Ray resolves. Thus, the Hex Ray doesn't actually give the Ravenbloom student +1 might this turn. So that's why the Ravenbloom student stays at 2 against 3, and the Ravenbloom student loses, and Master Yu gains the Conquer point, and the... Oh. So yes, he conquers, gets to trash 1 and draw 1. I guess he decides not to, and then he plays Charm. Big things are happening here. Big things. Okay, so I may be wrong on this, but I don't think this card is in the Proving Ground decks that Master Yi's built into, because Master Yi is a Proving Ground leader, which is pretty cool to see a Proving Ground leader this strong in the meta, but I don't think Charm is. So Charm, as you can see, says move an enemy unit. And so he moved it to the battlefield that he already was in control of. But because he was in control of it, this Stalwart Pearl is now a defender. And his effect is, as a defender, he gains +1 might. He also has a buff from this pit rookie. So he's already at 3 might total. As a defender, he gains 1 more might, going up to 4 might. But the Master Yi effect is, if you have a unit that defends alone, give it +2 might as well. So he goes, this 2 cost is currently a 6 cost in this, not 6 cost, 6 might in this interaction. So 6 into 4, and he removes the Noxus Hopeful, clearing out the Kai'Sa's board, having a pit rookie ready to go for his next turn, and also leaving 2 standing, threatening that Defy once more, in case the Kai'Sa wanted to get a bit dangerous and do some actions here, and she does. And he has Unguard, so huge defensive spells coming up from Master Yi. But let's slow it down a little bit. So the Kai'Sa plays Void Seeker, which is an action spell that says deal 4 to a unit on a battlefield and draw 1. So this could have still been stopped by a Defy, but he may have been baiting it. Who knows? He does use the Kai'Sa effect to not have to recycle the rune, simply just paying the 3. So we're dealing 4 to this Stalwart Pearl, and because there is not a attacker here, the Stalwart Pearl is not a defender, so his effect does not go off, nor does the Master Yi effect. He is still currently a 3 might unit, but in return, with the 2 runes that the Master Yi set up, he plays Unguard for 1, which is a reaction. You can play it at any time. This isn't countering the spell, but instead it says give a friendly unit +1 might this turn, then an additional +1 if it is the only unit you control there. So the 4 goes into, still goes into the Stalwart Pearl, but it will gain 1, pushing it to 4, and then gain an additional 1 because it's the only one, pushing it to 5. So the Stalwart Pearl will live with 1 might remaining, or 1 health remaining, not 1 might. And I guess he drew. So he plays Stupefy now, and oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so, wait, that's a very cool interaction. That's a very cool interaction. So, Stalwart Pearl lived with 1 might, or 1 health. His might was still at 3. Or I'm sorry, not at 3, at 5. But he lived with 1 health because Kai'Sa does damage, not might reduction. But this Stupefy card does might reduction. So this does push the Stalwart Pearl's might down by 1. I assume this is all in that same stack of the actions and reactions. So he does live with 1 might, but this Stupefy pushes him down, back down to 4 might. Thus, the Void Seeker actually does do damage to kill the Stalwart Pearl here, unless he had another card to save it, which it looks like the Kai'Sa just wants to burn those cards out of his hand. So, because they've already gotten a Unguard out, and they've already gotten a Defy card out of his hand, which is really strong for the Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa is tapped out completely. Even the leader is tapped out. There's nothing that they can do to stop that conquer. So they will discard 1 and draw 1, gaining another point. And now they have a pit rookie on the board. They leave their entire rune setup though. which I think is interesting. With 2 cards left, they do play Discipline. Tap 2 to play Discipline to give it +2 might to save it from the Hextech Ray. The damage is still on the stack, and they play Cleave, action giving the Noxus Hopeful Assault 3, which adds 3 might to them as an attacker, and they clear out the Pit Rookie, gaining control over Zon Warrens. And they play out their Kaisa from their champion zone, choosing not to accelerate it so they can keep 2 up for their defensive turn, which is smart because they are fearing, or they can easily fear their Lee Sin coming into play. That 7 cost 6 comes in ready. I'm sorry, I just completely missed that because I was yapping. What was this card? I actually haven't seen this card yet. Tasty Faithfolk. So you can accelerate it, so it comes in ready. So it is a 7 might card. So he taps. Is that 4? So he it looks like he does tap 8 and recycles 1. Yep. So he can come in ready and move it to a battlefield. And it is a 7/6. And then Death Nail, so when it dies, channel 2 runes exhausted and draw 1. So a little bit of late game ramp here. If it dies, that is. And he does send it into Battle of the Noxus Hopeful. They have a smoke screen at the ready. They do have to recycle this time because their Kaisa leader is not ready, so they do subtract 4 might from him. He dies, and they will get the draw. Did I read that card wrong? Oh yeah, channel 2 runes and draw 1. So they do get a draw and 2 runes channeled exhausted. So yeah, they really just sent him in to die. I'm assuming it is pretty early in the game, both people at 2 points. So I guess he's fine with allowing him to go to his 3rd point and his 4th point here, with his whole board or all of his runes exhausted. He has no reactions to it, gaining 4 points. He's halfway through the game, but still very early in it. Playing this Lecturing Yordle, when you play him, draw 1. And this is what I was talking about with blue having those draw effects and playing another Kaisa down at his base. So they've really got their engine started, having 2 Kaisas on the board, because if you remove one, it will easily be replaced and have its conquer effect go off. And if I did not say already, I forget if I did, but that Kaisa's effect is when I conquer, you draw 1. So he allows the Kaisa to die here, assuming what I just said, just, and he actually got baited. He actually got baited here. Does he not? I guess he does not have removal spells here. But yeah, so he allows the Kaisa to die. I was assuming that was on purpose, so that he can easily recounter that with the second Kaisa that he's played, and getting her draw effect once again. But it looks like he did not have the spells to protect himself, and he was bluffing those 2 runes, because the Master Yi plays another charm, moving the other Kaisa to fight the Faithfolk, and that Kaisa dies as well. And I can't imagine that being what he planned to do. But who knows? Who knows? There can still be a 3rd Kaisa in his deck that he can be drawing into. He taps 8 and recycles 2 for Dr. Mundo. My might is increased by the number of cards in your trash, and at the start of the beginning phase, recycle 3 from your trash. So he's gotten his trash pretty big. I was not keeping track of that because I did not think of this card. So he's base, six base might, and however many cards in his trash. I wonder if it says it on the screen here and I just can't read it because it's in Chinese, but still a very strong card. Still a very strong card, especially in a deck like this. Okay, he's counting it out. 3, 5. Why is he doing it like that? 10, 13. Whoa, wait. Excuse me. Wait. So no way is this Dr. Mundo a what is that? 20. Let me do math. No, not 20. 19? Yeah, a 19 might Dr. Mundo. That's crazy. That's actually insane. Especially in a deck like this where you are, because you will recycle 3, so you will get smaller at every beginning phase, but he will, yeah, that's just 13 play. They're even zooming in. They're like, what in the world? They're just as confused as I am. But in a deck like this where you are slinging spells pretty frequently, pretty consistently, and you want to put those spells back into your deck, that is a very strong card that I did not think of for Kaisen. So he plays out his Master Yi from his Champion Zone. I was about to say no graphic for him, but there it is. And he comes in ready, but he decides to not move him. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't move him into that Dr. Mundo either, man. He decides to not move him because that will be counteractive to his leader effect, that Fey Folk is still buffed by the Master Yi. So he has his own Death Knell trigger, sends him in there to die. I believe he draws a card when he dies. Yes, he does. Because he added one to his trash, the Dr. Mundo goes up, and now he's putting the tank there. Very, very, very strong control of the Zon Warrens here, which he more than likely will just keep control of because he is in the point lead. So this Master Yi does need to figure some sort of win condition out because he cannot survive this war of attrition anymore, or more of attrition for much longer. So it looks like he is going to make a play for it. Let's see what he does. So he moves it there. Looks like he's just going to allow it to die so he can draw a card. Grabs another first mate from the draw. Oh. I completely tweaked on how battles work. Okay. Very important. So, the showdown occurs. But battles work or the way battles work is you assign damage to whichever card you choose, unless certain keywords, tank being one of those keywords. So I believe this is a 3-2. I believe it's either a 3-2 or a 3-3. But this is attacking with 6 might. So it must have been a 2 because, yeah, so it has to be 2 because he's attacking here with 6 might. So he will kill he has to assign damage to this Yordle first because it has tank. So it'll be 2 of the might, and then the rest of the 4 might will go to this Noxus Hopeful, and that clears that out. And that only leaves the Dr. Mundo, which still sits at a pretty 17 might currently. Actually, it just got buffed by 2, so now back up to 19 might because both of those units went to the trash. So yeah, he still has to figure out what he wants to do here. He will move the Master Yi up there to hold that position down, and playing this first mate to defend that position, because here this is technically against his leader effect, but if you don't have a card like On Guard on hand where it should be alone, it does you better adding 3 might to defend rather than just the 2 might from your leader effect. And he has to hold this position here. If he does not, then he loses the game, because the Dr. Mundo will gain a point for holding, unless I forget. Yeah, gain a point for holding. So yeah, so he plays another tank to the Dr. Mundo site, and Faye Spear Mother just okay. Yeah, so he's going to play the harsh defense, very very harsh defense, tanking up his board extremely tall, just not even going for the kill shot with attacking into the Master Yi and first mate. Plus, yeah, it looks like he just shakes his hand with I'm not even gonna do the math because it's crazy. So yeah, this I forgot what this card is called in English, but she calls in a sprite mother. So she calls in a sprite which is temporary, which means it dies at your next beginning step, but it is a 3 might card. So for 4 might here, excuse me, if I was getting tired, I might not be able, I might do one more. I might do one more and then save one for the next video. But for 4 cost and 1 recycle, she's developing 6 might at this battlefield twice. So that is 16 plus 2 on tank. So that's 18 plus 6 from her. That's 24 plus another 6. So that's 30 might that the opponent has to get over in his next turn. Or he loses, because when you gain a point for holding, going to your 8 point, you win the game. Yeah, very hard to do that. Extremely harder to do that with 4 cards in hand. They will play it out, draw their card, look at their hand, but it looks like, yep, they called the GGs because there was very impossible to get over that. Extremely good game, extremely high plays, high power plays, smart plays. Glad I watched this over. Yeah, Kaisa is terrifying. I mean, both of these decks are terrifying when they get rolling. But yeah, this is hooch out. But yeah. Yeah, so it's okay. That was 33 minutes. I don't think I have time to do 2 more. So I'm gonna do 1 more. These both have Master Yi opponents. Let's do the Darius. Let's see the Darius gameplay. Because he's played a couple. Yeah, let's watch this Darius deck. Because I don't hear a lot about Darius. So Darius effect is also the opponent. We are playing from Batu's perspective, so we do have an opponent here. So this time we are rooting for Batu. But our opponent is another Master E. But Darius effect is Legion, add 2 to any cost. So after you play a card, for your next card, you can use him as a reaction to add 2. I am simply going to, I'm actually just going to look it up. Not look it up, but show you guys. Because I'm saying it correctly, but it does not sound right coming out of my mouth. Load for me, please. Load for me, please. Yeah. So reaction in Legion. Okay, let me go back so you guys can see. I just wanted to pull it up so it was bigger. There it is. So reaction slash legion at, oh, gain 1, I'm sorry. So you legion is you get this effect after your first card has been played, or one card has been played this turn. So after one card has been played this turn, then you can tap him to add 1 to any cost. So similar to the Kaisa effect, where it's reaction add blah 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 blah. But it can be for any card, not just for spells. It's taking a bit long to load. So really want to see this. Oh, it's loud. Really want to see how he built this deck and what it's for. Okay, so he mulligans 1. So he has a lot of Legion cards. I did not get to see. I think there's Treferian War Camp for the battlefields. Oh, yep, here it is. So Stripped Peak or Starship Peak. When you hold here, you may channel 1 rune exhausted. So that's probably chosen by the Master Yi. And Treferian War Camp, here it is. Treferian War Camp units here have +1 might. So I'm assuming that's for the Darius because you're probably playing some lower cost units, so you can have runes left to play larger units. So having the battlefield buff your units is really smart. So they are running the seals in here, which I think is also really smart. So recycling a rune, you sort of gain it back for the turn, but it also counts as a card to play. So for 0, he's probably going to do it right now. For 0, yep, just okay. He's moving fast, but that's exactly what I said. So for 0, he will recycle the rune, but you tap this, and gears come in ready. So, but you tap this to get that rune back, essentially. So it's just a mana rock for recycling a rune, but it counts as a card for playing. So you play this card, then your leader effect is active. So on the first turn, he actually ramped out a 3-cost card because that was recycled, but you tap 1, 2, 3, and you play this out. And they generate 2. Wait. How did he do that? Am I tweaking? Wait, how did he ramp? Because he still needs to recycle, no? He needs to recycle a yellow. I'm confused in this. Because he played out this 2, and that recycles 1 of the yellows. And then he tapped this for the cost, unless that yellow counted as, but then the cost is gone. That's a bit confusing. Actually, let me turn on the volume for a second to see if he explains it. Okay. He hasn't said anything about it yet. Yeah, so he doesn't say anything about it, but I don't know how correct that is. He's missing a energy somewhere, either for the recycle or for the cost of it. Yeah. Unless I'm tweaking. If I feel like he's missing a cost somewhere. I'm missing out on the breakdown though. So he gains 2 points instantly. So this is very aggressive, very fast deck. Maybe even what's the one that has you start with 1 extra point? Maybe one of those battlefields are for this deck. But the Master Yi plays a Starward Portal for one of his good starting moves, leaving 1 up. But because this card generated 2 recruits, he would just move 1 recruit here. They have no reaction, so he'll gain a point, and then move his I'm forgetting her name. Whoa, whoa, baited hook. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. I'm forgetting her name, but she generated the recruits. So he gets another conquer point moving her there. So then he plays this gear, baited hook. 1 yellow. Is 1 and a yellow or 1 yellow? Maybe I've been reading these cards wrong this whole time. He taps 3 and taps to play that. So 1 in a yellow. Oh, he uses leader effect. Let me read this card. Kill a friendly unit. Look at the top 5 cards of your main deck. You may play a unit from it, from among them with a might up to 1 more than the kill unit, ignoring its cost, then recycle the rest. So he trashes that, and then he puts this in the look pile. So he searches through here so we can grab 1 with 1 might above. And so he grabs a Darius. What? That's 5 might. Am I tweaking or is he tweaking? There's so much going on. There's so much going on. I low-key baited hook. So he taps 3 for it, and then taps the... Okay, so he does tap his leader for this effect. He may play a unit from among them that has might up to 1 more than the kill unit. But the killed unit had 3 might. Oh, the killed unit was at the Trifarian war camp, which gave it 1 more might, which meant he killed it at 4 might, which means you can grab the Darius, which is at 5 might. Oh, that's genius. Oh, that's genius. Oh, wow. That's actually really good. You just got a champion unit out for in the second turn. That's actually insane. That's actually really insane. What? That card might be busted. I did not think about it like that. So I believe he's talking about it. He's going over the effects and everything. He does move his he buffs his Star Portal and moves to the front line. So same starting play from the previous turn, from the previous game of the Master Yi. Looks like that's the curve that they want to hit, which is Star Portal into Pit Rookie. So he does have Falling Star to deal enough damage to get over the buff, killing the Poro, and he used baited hook again to do what? To grab what? He should talk about it soon. But he does conquer both points again, going up to 4 instantly. So this is an extremely fast deck, way faster than the Kaisa deck that we just saw. This game is running at Mach speeds currently. Yeah, he's just allowing them to gain points here and there. But especially against a deck like this that does not have that much removal, it is extremely smart to keep going at it like this. He's tapped out, so you have 4 into 2 that will die. And did he use beta hook on it again? Oh no, he used so he conquered. What happened here? Spectral Matrona. Maybe I should just look up this card. I don't have time for it though, but I should. Spectral. Oh, I'm in Kaisa, that's why. where's this card? So strings of range. Oh, it's in order, that's why. Where are you? Where are you? Special Matron, here it is. When you play a unit costing no more than 3 from your trash. Okay, so that's how we got the unit thing back. But how did this die? Did he use the bait on it? He did not. He did not tap the bait. How did that die? Oh, Master Yi effect. I'm sorry, Master Yi effect. I'm being stupid. It's harder to see the board at this angle. So Master Yi effect gives this +2. So now it's 4 into 4. So they trade. No conquer happens. He moves a recruit in afterwards to get the conquer point, and then he uses Hidden Blade to insta-kill his Master Yi champion, allowing him to draw 2, but gaining 6 points, and then using the bait again to kill this. I think that's not Drummer, is it? I don't think that's Drummer. Noxian something, but he kills it and goes looking top 5 for another unit and plays it with ignoring its cost, and that being the Draven. And Draven is increased might by how many points you have, and he's at 6, so that is increased might by 6. So he is he starts at 3, increased by 6, so that'll be 9, and then at this Trifarian War Camp he gains +1, so he's at 10. So now it looks like he's gone into the second part of his play, which is just not hold stalling, but just holding, because he has so much of a point advantage. He's using the baited hook one more time, doesn't find anything, unfortunately, but now he has 2 11 might. Draven's at Trifarian War Camp, so now you really have to. Okay, so he's moving a character, so he does have a play here. Probably moving. Oh no. He's probably talking about if he has move that could be something. But it doesn't look like he does. Looks like he's just cycling a lot. I don't know what he's doing over there. It's hard to see. It's hard to see what the opponent is doing over there. But it is all the same. He really has to conquer here. It looks like he doesn't because they're fading a black. So yeah, he just gains the hold point here, because he did not have anything to conquer it with, just winning the game. So that's that. Extremely fast game, way faster than before. He didn't even call out his champion unit from his champion zone. But that's smart. That did not think of that. The mix between the battlefield play with the baited hook, because I remember reading this card and I was like, I don't know how strong that really would be, but if you are using cards like this, if you move a recruit token into there, that'll be at 2 might, and then you can grab a unit with 3 might or less. So that just really opened my eyes up to this baited hook card, especially in a deck like this, because it was really just tap the gear, after you played something, tap the gear, tap your legend, and you have baited hook every turn. Wow. What a deck build. Really nice deck build from Batsu. No wonder he went 8-0. It's even hard to react to at that point, because not only are you developing these recruits fast, but you're also, the plan is to conquer every turn. When you are only pushing up 1 card to a battlefield and then baited hook killing it, so you don't get a hold point, you'll just conquer it on your next turn. So you're just getting conquer points just essentially every turn, without having to worry about, oh, is my opponent going to have a removal spell or have a damage spell or move spell to get my units off the battlefield. So yeah, really smart deck build here. Yeah. That's really nice. Oh my lord, this game is gonna be so fun. This game is gonna be so fun. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. We are at the 50-minute mark. I don't want to go into another gameplay, and I feel like this will be much longer. Yeah, Aspirant Climb increased the points needed to win the game by 1. So this is going to be a much longer game. Maybe I will do this in a later video. But for now, that will be it. Once again, shout out to Riftbound. Let me like this, by the way. Josh Snyder, even though we didn't get to react to your video, and Channel 2 for uploading these videos, and hopefully allow me to react to it. I know I have nothing to get in contact with you with, but yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. If you enjoy Riftbound content like this, gameplay videos I drop mostly, but this was actually really fun to react to other people's gameplay and tournament gameplay. But I will see you all on the next one. Remember to support your local card shops, and goodbye.